Planning a trip to Copenhagen? You've probably seen the postcard-perfect photos of colourful harbours and royal palaces. But here is the truth nobody tells you. Copenhagen is one of the most expensive cities in Europe. And if you visit these attractions without a plan, you will waste hours standing in lines, missing the best views, and walking right past hidden historical secrets. In this video, we are breaking down Copenhagen's top attractions using an insider's logistical strategy. Let's dive straight into Copenhagen. The rerouted Canal tour. Let's start on the water. Taking a canal tour is widely considered a must-do in Copenhagen, but here is a major insider tip. Not all canal tours are created equal. If you look online, most people assume every tour starts from the famous Nihon Harbour and follows the exact same path. But that is a misconception. Depending on which company you book with, your starting point and route can vary significantly. For instance, some routes take you directly deep into the historic canals, while others focus heavily on the expansive outer harbour. Here is your logistical tip. Before you buy your ticket, look closely at the company's route map. If your heart is set on sailing through the narrow, colourful canal of Nihon itself, double-check the itinerary, because some tours bypass it completely. The harbour-focused tours offer a huge advantage. They take you right to the Little Mermaid. Seeing her from the water is a far better experience, providing a clear, unobstructed view away from the shoreside crowds. Before booking, ensure your route includes the outer harbour. It's the most relaxing way to see the Mermaid and Opera House without the extra walking. The royal timing at Amalienborg. Let's head on to royal ground. Welcome to Amalienborg Palace, the winter residence of the Danish royal family. The palace is actually made up of 4 identical classicizing palaces surrounding an octagonal courtyard. In the centre stands the monumental equestrian statue of King Frederik V. This square is completely open to the public, which means you can walk right up to the buildings. But the real highlight here is the changing of the guard ceremony. Now, if you just turn up at noon, you're doing it wrong. Yes, the main ceremony happens in this courtyard, exactly at 12 p.m. daily. But here is the secret. The Royal Life Guards actually begin their march 30 minutes earlier, at 11:30 a.m., all the way from Rosenborg Castle. They march through the city streets right to this spot. To get the absolute best experience, arrive in the courtyard by 11:45 a.m. Stand near the central statue. This gives you an elevated 360-degree view of the entire transition as the relief guards take their posts. Understanding the Royal Museum. While you're in the square, you will notice the entrance to the Amalienborg Museum, located inside Christian VIII's palace. Many travellers skip this, thinking it's just another art gallery. But that is a mistake if you want to understand modern Denmark. Unlike traditional museums that only show ancient history, this museum lets you step into the relatively recent past. It maps out the private interiors and apartments of previous kings and queens from the Glücksburg dynasty. The rooms are kept exactly as they were, filled with personal items, photographs, and heavy tapestries. It gives you a surprisingly intimate look at royal life. Logistically, this is a fantastic indoor activity to pair directly with the changing of the guard. Walk the square, watch the guards at noon, and then step inside the museum to warm up and explore the royal chambers without wasting any transit time. The marble Symmetry, Frederik's Church. Just a short walk from the palace square, looking down the main axis, you cannot miss the imposing sight of Frederik's Church, popularly known as the Marble Church. It boasts the largest church dome in all of Scandinavia, inspired directly by St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. When you stand beneath it, the scale is absolutely breathtaking. Best of all, stepping inside the ground floor of the church to admire the soaring dome is entirely free. It's a peaceful, quiet space that contrasts beautifully with the busy tourist crowds outside. But here is a tip for the photographers and content creators watching. The best shot of this church isn't from right up against the building. Instead, stand directly in line with the equestrian statue back at Amalienborg Palace. The architectural symmetry is a masterpiece of urban planning. The Fairytale Castle, Rosenborg. If Amalienborg represents the modern living history of the royals, then Rosenborg Castle is where you find the fairy tale. Built in the early 17th century by King Christian IV, this Dutch Renaissance-style castle looks like something straight out of a storybook. This is where the crown jewels, the royal regalia, and the coronation thrones are kept. Because it houses the nation's ultimate treasures, security is tight and time slots are strictly enforced. Here is a vital logistical tip. You must book your tickets online well in advance, especially during the summer months. If you just turn up at the gate, you will likely be turned away. Even if you don't plan to go inside to see the jewels, the surrounding King's Garden is the oldest royal garden in Denmark. It offers some of the most stunning angles for photographing the castle exterior. The central hub, Højbro Plads and shopping street. Now let's head toward Højbro Plads. This grand square is the heart of the city and serves as the perfect anchor for your explorations. You'll recognize it by the massive equestrian statue of Bishop Absalon, the legendary founder of Copenhagen. Just steps away is Strøget, one of Europe's longest pedestrian shopping streets. While it's famous for high-end fashion and Danish design, the real pro tip here is to use Højbro Plads as your meeting point. If you get separated from your group in the narrow side streets or the crowds of the shopping district, just tell everyone to meet at the man on the green horse. It's the easiest landmark to find and a great spot to pause and soak in the city's energy. The Fortress Walk, Kastellet, and the statue. To wrap up your day, head north toward Kastellet. Most tourists take a bus or a taxi straight to the Little Mermaid, but you should walk through this star-shaped fortress instead. Kastellet is one of the best preserved fortifications in Northern Europe. Walking along its grassy ramparts gives you a peaceful, elevated view of the harbour that most travellers miss entirely. As you exit the fortress on the waterfront side, you'll arrive at the Little Mermaid. While she is famously smaller than many expect, seeing her at the end of a walk through the historic citadel makes the experience feel much more rewarding. It turns a quick photo op into a beautiful scenic journey through Copenhagen's military and maritime history. Copenhagen is a city best explored slowly. By planning your day around these specific logistical windows, you'll save time, beat the crowds, and experience Copenhagen like a pro. If you found these tips helpful, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And if you are planning a larger journey across Scandinavia and want to see how to transition from Denmark to Sweden, watch my video where I document the first-class rail experience all the way to Stockholm. Link below in description. Safe travels, and see you in the next World Guide.